Today's question comes from Ashley in Virginia. She says, I'm 27 years old and wondering how people my age can ever be able to buy a home or save for a wedding. My fiance and I will make a combined income of about $150,000, but these things still seem like something that will never be attainable for people our age. Ooh, a lot of negativity here from Ashley. Woe is me. You make 150,000. People would, they would give anything to make 150 grand a year. So here's my thing, John. There's something behind this.
Yes.
Number one, there could be a pile of debt to where they're going, well, how am I going to save for a house? I've got $2,500 in payments every month going out to lenders because of my student loan and my car payment. And the other piece of this that I'm seeing is she's probably looking at really nice houses in her parents' neighborhood, and she's looking at weddings that, on Instagram that are probably six-figure weddings, and she's going, how am I going to save up for these things? And the truth is you don't. You go, we're going to do a 10 grand wedding and call it great, and we're going to DIY the little decor pieces that everyone takes home and then throws away that you hope they keep forever. Be honest, John, you've done it. And then we're going to go, what's an actual reasonable condo in our area that we might be able to save up for the next 3 or 4 years?
Or a one-bedroom apartment or a two-bedroom apartment, right? Yes, they're overpriced right now. They're expensive, no question about it. But, man, let's say in 10 years we want to be at a certain place, or in 15 years. And by the way, this is the way it's been done for generation after generation after generation. There was a tiny little sliver window where it was like bonanza. But the idea that I'm just going to walk out with my fancy job and buy the house that my parents live in and play golf at the same, if you're, don't do that. But to do all these, get the boat that my dad has and get the this and my cars, it's just not how it works. That's not how they did it. It's not how their parents did it before them. And people need to slow down. Slow down. And I think you touched on a good point. The debt is crushing people, right? The debt is absolutely crushing people, and the rates for rents have gone through the roof. So let's say this. I have seen some budgets that are they're hard. People make good money, like this magical six-figure number, and they're still looking at things and at their student loan debt, at this, and they realize, man, I can barely make it, and I'm making a good salary. I thought if I made this salary, things were going to be quote unquote okay. What do you tell them, man?
Well, number one,
I don't want to be insensitive, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you got to look and say, well, are you doing a budget? Do you have debt? What if we got you out of debt? What could that do to your monthly income? Well, you get to keep it. And so making 150, let's say they take home 100 grand. That's very conservative. But you take 100 grand with no payments, and we can save up pretty easily $50K a year, right, even with all of our expenses. But when you make $150K and it's all, you're trying to invest, you're trying to pay off debt, you're trying to do this over here, you're going on vacations, you're eating out, and then you wonder how people save. And so that is the problem I'm having with this is there's not enough of a financial picture to really look at it and go, here's the issue. But based on how it's phrased, it's very pessimistic. My parents bought their house for 11 raspberries and a sheep, and it's like I'll never be able to afford this $500,000 house. And the truth is, you can start at a $150,000 house and stair-step your way up over a long period of time. That's what you're saying. That's what our parents did. My parents lived in the same house. They still do for over 30 years. Right. And so there's a lot of sacrifices that need to be made.
And you and I drive old, used, beat-up car. The illusion, Dave takes care of us very, very well, but we drive old, beat-up cars, and because they're depreciating assets, and I've got different financial goals. You've got different financial goals. And
our priorities are, like a lot of people, they want to have the nice car, the nice house, go on amazing vacations, and XYZ.
I want those
things
too
much at once.
Right? I had some buddies come up from way back in the day, some of my former students that have just gone on to do some amazing things. They came to visit me on Friday. They were up here, and then we all walked out after we spent some time upstairs on the terrace. Then when I hopped in the car, one of them said, "I thought you're driving?" And I was like, yes, because I choose to, right? And it's not because I'm any better than anybody else, right? I sure made that mistake when I was 27. Good grief.
Oh, yeah. But you got no one to impress, and that is like a superpower in today's society.
That's exactly right.
Wow.
And so my heart breaks for Ashley because you got to shift your picture, right? And if you start out at 150K at 27 years old, A, you're winning, and B, please set off on a track of optimism, and we're going to solve some of these hard problems, even if that means we're not going to be in Virginia very long, or even if that means we're going to live in this neighborhood versus this neighborhood, or whatever. And George, I do think there's a good pushback to if you would just quit drinking a latte and avocado toast, you'd be rich. That's nonsense, right? And yet, it can help. But this year, Ashley, set about saying, look how blessed we are. Look how we're doing great. Let's put these things in order and get going. And have a smaller wedding, buy a smaller house, and let's let this stuff grow over time.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of contentment that could be had here, some delayed gratification, and just setting realistic goals and saying, all right, I'm 27. By 30, we're going to be in that house. And here's what it's going to take to get there. Are we willing to be all in on this goal? And that, to me, that's some amazing growth can happen there, especially as a couple. Her fiance, she's not married to, so they'll be making combined 150s. They haven't even experienced what that dual income is going to be like yet. So stay patient, Ashley.